Welcome back to Chesswood Arena in Toronto, Canada for third period action of the Prospects by Sports Illustrated AA All-Star Challenge. Mike Formisano here with you. We're tied at 4 between Team USA Teal and Team Canada White in the 2010 division. 1 minute, 8 seconds to go on a Canadian power play to start the third period as Team Canada is now going right to left. Team USA Teal going left to right. Jack Fontaine will take the draw for the Americans as we start the third period, going up against Bell, and he wins the draw, goes over to Simone, but now Menard steals it away. Menard trying to get through the Canadian defense. There's Simone, and he sends it down the ice, and Fontaine chases after it, but number 77, Cole Sullivan, will get there first. 55 seconds to go on the minor to Bernstein. It looks like Connor Dunn is serving that minor as Bernstein's going to sit in the box for an extra period of time. We don't know how much, but we'll find out later. Poked out of the zone by Logan Dixon. Good solid defense by the Skylands King. And now Hindley will play it back in the center ice. Stolen away by the Americans and tipped by Fontaine. No, Simone. And Simone chases it. Sullivan's going to get there first. 24 seconds to go on the Bernstein minor. Simone has it behind the net on the backhand. Simone being tied up there. Trying to figure out wins and losses as far as qualification for the semifinal tomorrow. America could very wind up tied with 2 ties. That will change things a lot. But it would only give them 1 point. They desperately need the 2. As I'm sure Canada White is saying the same thing. Puck in the corner. Shot comes across. Goes back into the near corner. Penalty's over. There's Goldstein to help out. Saved by DeMalo. Bell with it. Now in front. Tipped aside. And here is Team USA clearing the zone all the way down the ice. And an icing as the penalty has expired to Noah Bernstein, but he's still in the box. So again, I would say either an unsportsmanlike or a misconduct of some kind. But we'll find that out later. But we're back to 5-a-side hockey. We are deadlocked at 4. It's the early third period. The face-off to the right of Sam DeMalo. Russo will play it forward. It goes back to Nielsen. Off the shin guard to Wimmer. Here's Fritz. Fritz up the ice. Robert Wimmer with a breakaway. Wimmer coming in. The shot. He scores! Robert Wimmer gives Team USA a 5-4 lead. Wimmer on the breakaway with the outlet pass. And Team USA goes up for the second time today. Team USA 5. Team Canada 4. 13:21 remaining in the third period. Well, 5 is most definitely alive for Team USA as they lead by a goal with 13 minutes remaining. Puck comes back to Nielsen. Pass and it's being chased down by Goldstein. So Wimmer has scored in every game in this tournament so far. Goes into the far corner. Picked up there by number 98, Carson Johnston. Get there. Plays the puck outside the zone. Stolen away by Russo. Now the Americans will try and hold on to the lead for the second time today. Here is Rees. Rees off the ankle of Russo. Rees again with the shot. Save! DeMalo. Stick save. And they'll cover for the face-off. Clock down to 12:47. The Americans tried to protect a 1-goal lead yesterday against Canada Purple. And had it not been for a power play, it may very well have done so, but they didn't. As Wyatt Muldoon had tied things up for Canada Purple with 4.5 minutes remaining. Can they protect this 1-goal lead against Canada White? Shot comes in off Cooper. Now Fontaine. It goes over back to Canada. There is Elliott. Elliott with the pass across to Cooper. Back to the point. The shot. Saved DeMalo. I don't know how he saw it. He was screened the whole way. And now the puck comes off the referee's skate. Dunn has it along the near boards. Dunn with the pass up to Fontaine. Fontaine, cross ice to Lopriori. Lopriori has to hold back. Tries to deke the Canadian player, and he loses the puck. And it's picked up by number 88. Stolen away by Fontaine. Fontaine coming to the shot. He scores! He scores! Jack Fontaine just inside the left post. And Team USA has a 2-goal lead. With 12:09 remaining. Fontaine's second of the game gives Team USA a 6-4 lead. What a goal by Fontaine and a great pass from Connor Dunn to beat McElwain for the 6th goal of the game. 12:09 remains. Team USA up by a deuce. The USA chant now going up for the American crowd. Here's Dunn at the blue line, sends it in, stick the side by McElwain. Now along the corner there, good check by Fontaine. The puck goes over to Bell. Bell now in the skates of Carter Sager. Hawksworth will send it around. There's Cooper. Cooper on number 77, Cole Sullivan. I'll tell you what, the Americans coming up the ice now with Connor Dunn, looking to build on that lead, and I would advise them to do so. If you think Canada's going away, they're not. Here's the shot, he scores! Just as I say so. Canada has cut the lead to 1. That shot comes in from Carter Sager, his second of the game, with 11:28 remaining. Don't go anywhere, folks. 6-5, USA leads over Canada here at Chesswood Arena. As I said, Team USA needs to put as much insurance on as possible, as the Canadians will not stop. Here is Fontaine with Goldstein and Formisano on the line. Scrum for the puck is picked up by Simone. Here's Simone, he backhands it inside the zone. All the way in the corner. Plenty of time to go here in this third period. 11 minutes, 15 seconds. Puck comes back to center ice. There's Catapano with it. Catapano, he's got Menard on him. Menard steals it away. Pass in front, in the crease area, and it's cleared out of the way by Team USA. Here's Dixon with the pass over to Goldstein. Goldstein loses an edge, and it's stolen away by Team Canada. And now played back out to the American zone where Catapano picks it up. Catapano with the pass over to Goldstein. Max Goldstein loses it over to Reeves. Now Formisano tries to go ahead and swipe it away, and the puck hits off the referee. Now Catapano will clear it into the corner. Formisano with it. Formisano across the blue line. Loses it over the red. It's stolen away by Team Canada. Now Catapano and Formisano knocked down. Puck's underneath him. Catapano will shovel it into the Canadian zone. 10:20 remaining. Third period. Team USA 6, Team Canada 5. Goldstein in the corner, tying up the Canadian forward. Looks like Allard. Now sent around towards the near boards. Held in by Dixon. Scrum for the puck. Tied up by Simone. Comes back out to center ice in a 2-on-1. Here comes number 14, Tyson Reese. Knocked down by a cross check into the goal by Reese on Catapano. And that most definitely has to be a penalty. Wow. So Reese tried to pass it across to his fellow forward, and Catapano knocked it down with his gloves. Reese didn't like it, shoves Catapano into the net, and he's going to be called for the penalty. So Team USA will go to the power play with 9:49 remaining. Reese to the sin bin, and it'll be a 2-minute minor. Face-off will be to the right of number 29, Jacob McElwain. It'll be Lopriori, Wimmer, and Russo out there, along with Fritz and Castellano on defense. Face-off. Won by Team Canada, goes over to Galizia. Diego Galizia, stolen away by Lopriori, and played behind the net. Now on the side, there's Russo with a big check. The Americans have to be careful not to play the physical game and get sucked into this. Here's Castellano, fires! Deflected, and knocked down by Galizia. Now tied up by number 88, Christian Cooper. Over the stick blade of the Canadian defense, and they pick it up in the far corner. Outside the zone it goes, and there is Fritz. Fritz with the pass up to Lopriori. Lopriori pass over to Wimmer. Wimmer with the shot, just missed the right post. Now it's cleared outside of the zone by Team Canada with 1:15 remaining. Castellano with the pass over to Wimmer. Wimmer, he's got Fritz with him. Wimmer hits the brakes, and he gets support from Castellano. Plays it forward to Lopriori. Lopriori off the skate of Galizia, and he has to chase it down. 57 seconds remaining on the minor to Rees. Here's Wimmer across the blue line. Wimmer, he's got Russo with him. Wimmer drops it off to Russo. Russo with the pass across to Castellano coming in. It's deflected by Nielsen. It goes in the far corner. Now here's Fritz. Jacob Fritz with it. Pass over to Russo. Russo can't tee it up. And now a breakaway for Galizia. Here we go. Diego Galizia, the shot. Save the Malo! Right hand save by Sam DiMalo. And here comes Fritz across the blue line. Fritz fires, blocked down by Nielsen. Here's Wimmer with it on the backhand. Goes along the far boards. Russo with it. 14 seconds to go on the minor. He skates it outside the zone to reset. Fanned on the pass. He'll get it back though. Goes over to Fritz. Jacob Fritz inside the zone. Fritz knocked off of Goldstein. And here is Galizia again. Diego Galizia, he'll dump it in and look for a wholesale change. One player in there, that's Reeves on Russo. Reeves picks it up in the corner. He loses it to Lopriari as the penalty is over to Tyson Reeves. Hawksworth stolen away. Here's the shot, wide left and off the near boards. Sager, Fontaine on him. There's Hawksworth. We have 7:24 to go, third period. Team USA 6, Team Canada 5. Canada comes inside the zone. Russo defending off the face mask of DiMalo, and it comes off. That shot came in so hard, it knocked DiMalo's face mask off. 7:12 remaining, third period, and DiMalo's going to check his face mask to make sure it fits right, and we're going to take a quick break. Team USA leading Team Canada 6-5 with 7:12 remaining. We'll be back to Chesswood Arena in just a minute. Okay.
What more would you like?
Oh my God! All three games are played fantastic. Welcome back to Chesswood Arena in Toronto, Ontario, as Team USA clinging to a 6-5 lead. Face-off deep inside the American zone. It's Fontaine. He wins it, gives it back to Cooper. Cooper plays it around. Now it comes back out. That's Simone. Up to Fontaine. Fontaine and Dunn. Fontaine trying to dump it off to Dunn. Can't get there. It's stolen away by Team Canada. Here's Simone. And now coming in, that's Menard. Menard with a goal already today. Menard. Pass to Bell. Back to Menard. Goes in the corner. Off the shin guard of Trevor Cooper. Bell in front of Menard. Blocked aside by Simone. And Simone with the pass to Fontaine. Fontaine off the boards. And it'll go to center ice. There's Sullivan with it. Now here's Bell. Bell inside the American zone. Tied up there. Pass saved by DiMalo on a quick shot off the left pad. Now here's Fontaine. Fontaine over the red line trying to break in. Can't do so. It's played back out by the Canadians. 6-5 America leads. If this game does wind up in a tie, there is no overtime, as we saw last night. So either win in regulation or accept the tie. Right now, the Americans holding on to a 1-goal lead. 6 minutes remaining. Here's the backhand. Now over to Simone. And he is chopped aside by Sullivan. It goes in the far corner. Canada picks it up there. There's Bell, number 21 for Team Canada. Coming in. Bell all alone. The shot. Saved by DiMalo. Off the logo. And it goes all the way down the ice. And we have an icing on the play with 5:40 remaining. Team USA clinging to a 1-goal lead as the faceoff will be deep inside the American zone. Line change by head coach Charlie Spetz for Team USA. We have Max Goldstein, Michael Formisano, Elliot Lopriari, Jacob Fritz, and Joseph Castellano out there. Here's the faceoff to the left of DiMalo. And it's won by Lopriari. Goes in the corner. Now, quick shot. It's behind the net. It's picked up by Castellano off the glass and all the way down the ice. And the Americans are fine to go ahead and ice and reset as nothing was happening on that play. Now the faceoff will be to the right of DiMalo. Lopriari will take it again. It's Lopriari against Reeves. Here's the faceoff, won by Lopriari, gives it to Fritz in the corner. Fritz tied up by number 8, Pachowski. Now it goes over to Lopriari. Back to Fritz, off of Reeves. Reeves trying to come in. And the Americans with a break. Here is Lopriari. He's got Fritz with him. Lopriari in. The shot just missed the left post by about a foot. And now, number 11, Max Goldstein, forechecking on number 88 for Team Canada. Formisano with a big hit and knocks down the Canadian forward. Now, coming in all alone, tied up there, and the American defense clears it out of the way. Here is Castellano, and we still have a player down, and that was the player the former Sano knocked into with 4:47 remaining, and we're going to have an injury timeout. That is number 98, Carson Johnston. So we'll take an injury timeout. We'll be right back. 6-5, Team USA over Team Canada. Welcome back to Chesswood Arena in Toronto, Ontario. As Carson Johnston is helped off the ice by coach and player. We hope he's okay. 4:47 remaining here in the third period as Johnston's assisted to the bench. And so now the face-off will be in neutral ice, just above the blue line. Team USA with a goal lead, trying to protect for this last 4:47. Bernstein is going to take the draw. He's got Wimmer and Dunn with him on the front line with Castellano and Fritz on defense. Here's a face-off won by Canada, and it's sent all the way in and wraps it around the boards. Here is Sullivan. Sullivan gives it over to number 88, and that is Cooper. Loses it there. Now over to Wimmer. Here's Wimmer off the boards, and it comes back to center ice. Sullivan. Pass up to Elliott. Elliott checked off the puck there. Now we have Bernstein. Bernstein coming in with Dunn. Bernstein tripped down. No call. We play on. Wow. I can't believe they didn't call it. And now an American hit along the boards. And that is going to result in power play. So Dunn knocked down by a Canadian forward. And we're going to see who gets it. 4:12 remaining. That was number 76, Declan Hingley. Oh, Hingley will go to the box. And the Americans to a big power play as Dunn gets shoved down in the far corner. The face-off will be to the right of McElwain. 4:12 to go. Team USA up by a goal. So it'll be Bernstein, Wimmer, and Lil Priori out there along with Castellano and Fritz for Team USA. Bernstein will take the draw. Here it is. Sends it back to the point. Castellano can't hold it. It goes to center ice. And so now Fritz, as Castellano loses an edge. Fritz will pass up to Bernstein. Bernstein will backhand it in. Goes into the corner. 4 minutes remaining. You know, the Americans would love to get an insurance goal right here. Canada sends it all the way down the ice. And the Americans will have to chase. You know, in USA Hockey, we talk about the icing rule. And if you ice the puck even on a penalty kill, you're not allowed to do that. The puck comes back for an icing. In Ontario Hockey Federation rules, icing's allowed. And I agree with that. So 3:38 to go. Bernstein with it through the crease. Here's Dunn. Dunn tried to pass it back and cleared out of the way. And down the ice it goes. Castellano has to chase. Castellano over to Wimmer. Robert Wimmer. He'll circle around. You know, the Americans, they tried to protect the 1-goal lead. I know if they get an opportunity to try and add a second goal here, they will. But here is Castellano. He may have the shot just wide of the right post. Now loses it over to Cooper, and Cooper sends it forward to Galizia. Galizia knocked down by Simone, and he's going to get called for a penalty. Simone with the cross check on Galizia, right on the boards, and that will negate the American power play. With 3:03 remaining and 51 seconds to go on the penalty to Hingley. And it's going to be Bernstein actually called for the penalty. I thought it was Simone, but it turns out it was Bernstein. And so the face-off will be to the right of Sam DeMalo. So in 51 seconds, the Canadians will have an abbreviated power play. We'll play four-side until then. To the right of Sam DeMalo. Russo will take the draw. He's got Lopriori out there on his right. And it comes over to Lopriori. Elliot Lopriori will carry it outside the zone. Across the red line. Here's Fontaine inside the zone. Again, we talked at the beginning of the game, the mission for the United States was to win this game and keep themselves alive for later on tonight against Canada Red. Here's Fontaine. Nielsen in there first, off the referee, and sets it right up for Cooper. And Cooper with the pass to Fontaine, it goes underneath the stick. So it comes into McElwain, tries to poke it aside, and just couldn't get there in time. So McElwain covers. 17 seconds to go on the minor to Hingley, a minute 26 to go on the minor to Bernstein, and 2:29 on the game clock. 6-5, the Americans holding on to a 1-goal lead. Face-off won by Team Canada. Behind the net, Fontaine forechecking, and the puck comes out to Nielsen. Nielsen with the pass up to Menard. Menard over the blue line. Menard coming in, trying to weave through. DeMallo with the poke check, sweeps to the side, and sent all the way down the ice by Russo with 2:09 remaining. And they call it icing. And you know what? The penalty had already been over, so it should not have been an icing. The penalty to Hingley was already over, and so the Americans were on a penalty kill, and they called the icing. So I can't believe that. It's a bad call by the officiating, but the faceoff is going to be to the left of Sam DeMallo. We just talked about it. Americans on a penalty kill, and they get called for an icing, as the referee, I'm sure, thought it was still 4-side, and it was not. So the Canadians get a break, and the face-off to the left of DeMallo with 2:08 to go. Team USA Teal 6, Team Canada White 5. Minute 5 to go on the penalty, and now flipped outside the zone, and it hits the roof. And so the puck will stay inside the American zone for a face-off. It'll be Russo and Bell to the left of DeMallo. Dangerous time for the Americans here. Comes back to the point. The shot comes in. Save DeMallo! Right hand save. And now tied up by Sager. Sager. Dixon gets a piece of it. It's loose in front. Fontaine will back in and outside the zone towards the empty net. It's going to roll, but just wide of the crease. Minute 44 to go. The Canadians have pulled McElwain for an extra attacker. It's 6-on-4. Here comes the Canadians. Menard. Dixon ties him up. Now Catapano will shoot it, try to get it outside the zone. Held there, the shot in. Knocked down by Russo, it's loose. And here comes the shot. Off of DeMallo's blocker and out of play. Russo's down, but he gets back up. We have a minute 23 remaining and 20 seconds to go on the Bernstein minor. So it remains 6-on-4 as the Canadians have pulled their goaltender for an extra attacker. It'll be Simone, Castellano, Fritz, and Lopriori out there. All the Avalanche and Simone, the Long Island Rebel. It comes back to the point. Sent in around the net. The Canadians pushing for the tying goal. Along the boards. Back to the defense. The shot on goal. Saved DeMallo. It's loose in front. Comes through the crease. And there's Lopriori. He sends it all the way down the ice. He smashed! Elliot Lopriori with the empty net goal! And Team USA goes up 7-5! 1 minute, 3 seconds remain. And Lopriori sinks the Canadians. A 2-goal lead with a minute 3 left, and the penalty to Bernstein's over. So we're back to 5-a-side hockey. Lopriori's empty netter gives the Americans a lead by a deuce. And here's Lopriori over to Goldstein. The shot. Save McElwain. It goes in the far corner. Off the boards. Now here is Simone tied up there by Galizia. Goldstein on him. Good forechecking. Down to 48 seconds. Here's Lopriori. Lopriori holds it. Sends it in. Tip. It goes into the corner. There's Simone. Simone with the shot. Wide left off the far boards. Held in by Castellano. Joseph Castellano trying to skate in. The pass to Simone. Intercepted. And it comes to the blue line, but not out. Castellano holds it. Tied up there. Here's Fritz. Fritz back in neutral ice. He comes in. Fritz fires. Save McElwain, and he'll hold on with 19.4 seconds to go. And Team USA can taste it. They're less than 20 seconds away from their first victory of the tournament. And why is that funny? Robert Wimmer will take the draw. Michael Formisano on the right. Connor Dunn to the left. Goes back to the point to Castellano. Castellano will send it in. Formisano has it behind the net. trying to play it out. 10 seconds to go. It's tied up in the corner. Scrum in there. Comes back out to Connor Dunn behind the net. The Canadians have it there. It's tied up right behind the Canadian net. There's the buzzer. Mission accomplished for Team USA. They defeat Team Canada White 7-5. An incredible game between both teams. Going back and forth. Team Canada with the early lead. The Americans come back. And then they hold on to a lead with 6-5. And an empty net goal by Elliot Lopriori closes out the scoring. For Team USA Teal, their record goes to 1 win, 1 loss, and 1 tie, and still alive for a possible semifinal spot in tomorrow's semifinals. For Team Canada White, they drop to 1-2, and they will need a win in their game and some help to be able to make the top 4. Handshake line center ice. And I'll tell you what, the 3 games we've covered here in Canada have all been incredible, including today's game. Finally, the Americans break through and get the win. We will be back with you at 6 p.m. this evening from Scotiabank Pond in Toronto as Team USA Teal 2010 take on Team Canada Red. 6 p.m. start time will be on about 5 minutes beforehand. For everyone here at Chesswood Arena, it's Mike Formisano saying thanks for joining us. Final score once again, Team USA Teal 2010 defeats 2010 Team Canada White 7-5. Have a good afternoon, and we'll see everyone at 6 p.m.